Welcome to the Astrodome in Houston, where today the Oilers go after victory number 12 this year. That would be the most in the history of their franchise. They play host to the Philadelphia Eagles, who would like to win their 11th game of the year, the most since 1949. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender, along with Sonny Jurgensen. And Sonny, just moments ago, we checked the score. Pittsburgh is soundly defeating Buffalo 28-0. That means the Oilers cannot win the AFC Central title. How's that going to affect their play today?
I think it's going to affect their play. The fact they're going to be a little disappointed in the fact they can end up the season 12-4, yet still finish second.
Well, Earl Campbell came into today 3 yards behind O.J. Anderson in the rushing derby. Now, Anderson is not at this moment having a big day in Chicago. What do you think? Will they let Campbell go after it?
I think they'll let him go as far as he wants to go, but individual records are not something they're interested in right now. They need Earl Campbell to be healthy for the playoffs.
Now, the Eagles have to have some help today. They need Dallas and Washington ending in a tie for them to win the Eastern Division crown. Now, what will that do as far as their preparation is concerned?
Dick Vermeil says his team only knows how to play one way. That's his philosophy, to play hard. I think we are going to see him resting some people later in the game. I think Camfield will see a lot of action today. They're going to work people in, but as he said, and he told us down on the field, I'm not capable of making wholesale changes.
Now, Wilbert Montgomery trailed Anderson by 114 yards in that rushing derby.
I don't know. They might let him go for it. You know, that's a big accomplishment for a football team. And if they could do that, let him go for the record, I think they could do. I think they might.
All right, we're all set to go now as we go to the playing surface. This is Tony Frisch. He'll be kicking off for the Houston Oilers, and he'll be going to the Pro Bowl. We'll be introducing you to the members of both these football teams, the ones that will go to Honolulu for the 1980 Pro Bowl. Frisch is ready. Back deep, Wally Henry, who also be headed to the Pro Bowl. This is Wally Henry from the 5. And Wally Henry at the 19-yard line. He was spun around that time. Excellent defensive effort. And let's set it now offensively. There's Montgomery. And he's joined back there by Leroy Harris. Boobie Clark made the tackle on that kickoff. Krefli, one of the most underrated tight ends in the NFL. Carmichael with at least one catch in 111 straight. And that offensive line, you don't hear a lot about it except for Stan Walters, who's going to the Pro Bowl.
They've done an outstanding job all year long. And, of course, this young man right here, Ron Jaworski, what a great year he's had.
Ron Jaworski coming in here ranked 4th in the NFC. 18 touchdown tosses, 12 interceptions. From the 19, give to Harris, and Harris is able to move the ball out to the 24-yard line. And let's set defensively now. This Houston team, which has 51 sacks this year.
Andy Doris put on a lot of weight this year, and I think that's been the big improvement in his play. Curly Cup, Elvin Bethea, what a great player he's been in throughout his career. The linebackers, Washington, Bingham, Stringer back after an injury, and Robert Brazil.
Brazil all-world, isn't he?
Boy, he is. J.C. Wilson, Stemrick, Vernon Perry, a rookie that's had an outstanding year, and Mike Reinfeldt with 12 interceptions.
Wilbert Montgomery carrying the football, and he is very close to the first down. As he comes across the 30, he does have the first down. Making the stop was the man we just mentioned, number 69, Andy Doris for the Houston Oilers. The Oilers this year are 8th against the rush. And this Philadelphia football team is 5th in the NFC in their rushing game, primarily because of number 31.
Where they take it to you. And we've had so many games this year with Philadelphia, and each week they continue to impress you. And I still think their team is saying, look, we're still looking for identity. We're trying to show people that we are for real.
First down. The ball at the 33.5-yard line. Jaworski, his first pass of the game. Krefli, the big tight end, and he has a first down catch just short of the 50-yard line. Krefli now with 40 catches, a career high.
Boy, good play action fake here going back, and of course Krefli is outstanding receiver. That is his 39th catch of the season, isn't it? And just found the open spot right in the middle, and you see the blue shirts closing in on him because he got still in the middle of that zone.
He has had so many outstanding games. He has a 24-game streak going with at least one catch. And there he has now 40 catches after that last one. from the 50-yard line. The Oilers almost jumping offside. Jaworski on the first down. He's going to set up a screen to Harris. Harris had a tough time locating that football.
The ball was thrown a little hard for him out in front of him. That's the kind of pass, and as Vermeil, he's concerned about that. Wasn't a real good throw from Ron that time. You know, in a lot of the games we've seen, Gary, this year, Jaworski started out high in a number of them. I think it's because he is so pumped up at the beginning of the game.
Boy, he has that rifle arm, and as you mentioned, he throws it through a wall a couple of times. Bethea that time put pretty good pressure on from that right-hand side, and this team is second in the NFL with 51 sacks. The only team that's ahead of them is New England, who went into today's game with a total of 56. That's a bunch.
Boy, it is.
Second 10 from the 50-yard line. 5 defensive backs in now for the Houston Oilers. Jaworski. Wilbert Montgomery, and Montgomery has got about a yard, and that's all. Stemrick did an excellent job coming up from that right cornerback spot. Also, Greg Bingham was over there, and Bingham leading the team in tackles again. He's done it for 6 consecutive years.
An underrated linebacker. Robert Brazil gets all the notoriety here as far as linebacker play, but Bingham is a great linebacker, I think, and as you said, he makes plays all over the field. That time Stemrick did come up and defeat the play, though.
Third down, 9 yards to go, and the Oilers making some changes. Mike Stensrud, their top choice on the second round, has come in out of Iowa State. They'll bring in Jesse Baker, 75, who has 15 and a half of those sacks. 3rd and 9. Good pressure put on by Stensrud. He gets away. And he just got rid of that one. He was dumped in by Curly Culp back at the 25-yard line. So Jaworski was running for his life.
Well, that's a big improvement in their football team this year. They have gone to 4 down linemen in passing situations. They usually play a 34 defense. This case, in the rushing situation, when the passing situation, they go to 4 down linemen, and this is why they have the 51 sacks, almost number 52 right there. Jaworski threw the ball away.
This is Runninger, who will be kicking, and back deep is Richard Ellender for the Houston Oilers. Runninger coming in here is 5th in the NFC. He has just been excellent this year. In fact, the Eagles' kicking game with Franklin and Runninger may be the biggest improvement in 1979. And what a kick! He really got into that one, and he hit it, and it just did make it into the end zone, not by much. So the touchback will bring it out to the 20-yard line. That was a 49-yard kick that time by Runninger. Runninger earlier in the year was having some difficulty, but one of the problems was when he was kicking the ball, he was bringing his leg across his body. He changed that technique, and you can see what the result has been.
Your engine isn't starting on cue. Put in a fresh set of Champion spark plugs at least once a year. Champion and your engine can make beautiful music together. You can't buy a better plug.
Look what's happened to home heating and air conditioning costs. Up and up. Up over 80% in 5 years. But there's a way you can fight back in your attic. Add another layer of pink Owens Corning fiberglass insulation. Ask your dealer or contractor how much more you need. Fight back against rising fuel costs. Get Owens Corning fiberglass insulation now. It's cheaper than oil.
One of the Derrick Dolls here, the Houston Oilers cheerleaders. Houston will come out with a different look in that offensive line. David Carter is going to be going at a guard spot, and Conway Heyman will go at right tackle as Morris Towns, with that dislocated elbow, not starting the game for the Oilers. After the 49-yard kick, first down carry, Tim Wilson. And Wilson didn't get much on that one. Let's check now the Houston Oilers offensive picture. Everyone knows about Campbell, but Wilson, he's kind of an unsung player.
Good football player, good blocker, too.
Ken Burrow, boy, what a year he's had. 40 catches this year.
Rich Castor and Barbara, also an underrated tight end, just like Krepke.
Leon Gray, he's headed to the Pro Bowl. And there is Dan Pastorini, who's had all kinds of miseries this year physically, but he's really come on strong in the last 5 games.
He plays well here in the Astrodome.
On a 2nd and 10, he tried to set up a screen to Tim Wilson, but nothing doing on that play. Let's check defensively, this Philadelphia Eagle team. And, boy, I tell you, Hairston's not having a bad year. He has 14 sacks himself.
Claude Humphrey's been a big difference, though, I think, this year, and really fortifying that defensive line.
And Johnson headed to the Pro Bowl. And that linebacking core, Robinson, what a shot in the arm he gave them when they moved him into that inside position.
Boy, they needed somebody when they lost Berge.
And that secondary, well, Shira back there going along with Edwards. Edwards thus far with 3 interceptions. Renard Wilson going to the all-rookie team this year. He was picked on the UPI all-rookie team. Pastorini to throw on 3rd and 10. Intended receiver is Rob Carpenter, and that's going to bring up a kicking situation. Good pressure put on that time. Cliff Parsley will come in and kick. You know, Pastorini had a very interesting, very unusual thing. He had a viral infection that caused nerve damage in his throwing arm.
He said he couldn't throw the ball. Talking with him down on the field, he says, I couldn't throw the thing 15 yards. He said, and I couldn't hit a wall with it from 15 yards.
And then he got hurt in the 2nd game, and so he's just battled uphill all year long. But now they're down the stretch. He's playing like the Pastorini of a year ago. This is Wally Henry. Henry missed 4 games this year with a severe leg injury, but he still was selected to play in the Pro Bowl. Parsley, fine kick. Henry from the 36-yard line. Look at the guy go to the 50, 45, 40. Wally Henry's inside the 35-yard line of Houston. Boy, what an exciting football player this man is. He's not very big, 5'8", 170 pounds. Ted Thompson hitting. And the Eagles have excellent field position. A 45-yard kick, but a 30-yard return by Henry.
Yo! Oh, excuse me.
Excuse me. He's not too bad, except for those stale clothes. Wonder how he'd look in something fresh like pleated Hager slacks. Or a wool Hager sport coat and slacks. Even a Hager vested suit.
Cantaloupe?
No, let's have a church wedding.
Hager, because looking good makes you feel good.
Boy, this is the express line.
In business, the more efficiently you use your time, the more money you make.
Time is money.
So if you're spending hours dictating letters to far-off places, and hours are spent typing them,
I've got other work to do.
kick the letter habit. Pick up your phone and give them a ring. The phone turns your time into money.
Tuesday, Jackson's first love returns from a sordid past, and he may make the biggest mistake of his life. The White Shadow moves to Tuesdays at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Well, we welcome those viewers who have been watching the Minnesota-New England game. As you can see, the final, the Patriots coming from behind to win that one. I'm Gary Bender with Sonny Jurgensen. Right now, the ball at the 35-yard line of Houston after a 30-yard return of a punt by Wally Henry. This is Wilbert Montgomery. And Montgomery dragging tacklers for close to 5 yards. There is a flag, however, at the 27-yard line. Vernon Perry, number 32, and there he is, Bum Phillips. He is an original.
He's a real character. What a nice guy he is. Talking with him last night at the hotel where we were staying. So much fun. He says, I'm going to get you a better pair of boots than you got.
Boy, he has some boots, doesn't he?
Would you see Vermeil's boots today?
Dick Vermeil has some ostrich boots with the Eagles logo on it. Let's listen now.
Number 59 on the defense. Face mask. Be a first down.
That's Red Cashion. That's Ted Washington, who was guilty of that face mask violation. Now, this game, Sonny, really could affect the Washington Redskins, couldn't it?
Well, I think it's down to about 10 points now as far as the point spread, the net point difference between the Redskins and the Chicago Bears.
Tampa winning earlier clinched the division title, so Chicago now fighting for the wild card. Leroy Harris trying to pick up some running room, and Curly Culp was there to drop him. Curly Culp in his 12th year, 32 years old, as you look at Ron Jaworski.
Take a look at this, and you just see it. You're seeing it right from the end zone. Boy, a good shot this is. You see right up the middle. See the good play that time by Culp, playing off that center, Guy Morris, and just moving with the play and making it right at the line of scrimmage.
For those of you who just joined us, Philadelphia wins today. Washington and Dallas tie in Dallas. The Eagles would win the Eastern Division crown. Stranger things have happened. Second down, virtually 10 yards to go. Jaworski, and Montgomery can't hang on, but there's a flag again on the play. I tell you, this Oiler forward wall, they come after you. You can see why they have 51 sacks. Every time Jaworski's released the ball, he's had somebody right on him.
The thing you really need to do against the Houston Oilers is not put yourself in that third, second, and long situation. First down, very important to make some ground, move the ball so you don't get in that long passing situation where they can put that pressure on you.
Red Cashion will explain this penalty. Offside was against Houston. It's going to bring up second down, 5 yards to go. John Spagnola comes in along with Keith Krepfle.
Maybe that's how they're getting to the passer so quickly. They're lining up offsides, Gary.
They have been getting to the passer all year long and legally. No score from the Astrodome. Jaworski. Excellent protection this time, and the big tight end, Spagnola, a rookie from Yale who started the year with New England, made quite a catch at the 8. That'll be a first and goal. Vernon Perry defending on the play.
Boy, he was right with him. What an excellent throw that Jaworski made. He fakes to the back coming across. Again, he had, I think his cadence is bothering the Houston Oilers a little bit. He goes back, he gets some pressure from behind, but look at the throw he makes, getting himself set. Good catch by Spagnola.
Spagnola, the all-time leading receiver at Yale. He's 6'4", a 240-pounder. He was a 9th-round draft pick for New England, picked up as a free agent. First and goal from the 8. Looked like the Oilers offside. Harris carrying the ball. The right side of the Houston defense fired off the mark. And so that would give them a very good situation, moving the ball inside the 5-yard line. Looked like Bingham and Stringer, the linebackers up there close, may have jumped.
I think they moved a little early. Offsides against Houston again. In that showdown in Dallas, the Washington Redskins are leading 3-0 in the first quarter. Mark Mosley field goal.
Washington, if they would win that, of course, they win the division. If they lose it, then they have to be concerned about that Chicago-St. Louis game.
Number 65 on the defense, offsides, still first down.
That's Bethea jumping off. Bethea, 33 years old. He played with the Oilers when they weren't a winning team in 1968 through 75. And he says, I've never had so much fun as I've had the last couple of years. On the 4-yard line, first and goal. Jaworski bootlegging the ball, and he's going to take it in for the touchdown. Ron Jaworski faked everyone out on that one. The question I always have on something like that, Sonny, is did he tell the team he was going to do that?
Yes, he did, because it was a bootleg play. Watch, Carmichael goes to the corner of the end zone. He was running a pass pattern. You see there Ron faking a thing, but the coverage went back to take care of Carmichael, and it allowed him time to make a nice little run around the end. You see it again, the arm fake. Yeah, he told everybody he was doing this. A design play and a very good call, very smart call.
That's his second touchdown rushing this year. He has 115 yards, which is very good for a quarterback. This is Tony Franklin, the point after attempt. And he hit the upright. Did it make it through? No, it did not. Tony Franklin, who this year had missed 2 PATs, misses this one, and obviously a very important one. And so the Eagles with a 6-0 lead, and Tony Franklin playing in his home state of Texas after playing at Texas A&M.
How many times have you wanted to pack it all in and take off? Well, with Hertz Economy Fares, the time to go is now. Our subcompacts are only $14.95 a day, weekends, and just $98 a week. All with free mileage. Larger cars are only $1 more a day. And if you rent for 3 weekdays or more, Hertz has special economy fares for that too. Hertz Economy Fares. Now you can't afford not to rent from number one.
A big green football team, an endless yellow sea, a cherry pie and orange sky, the bluest eyes you'll ever see. Yes, America's true colors come through on GE.
GE TV brings you America's colors vivid and lifelike, and our special VIR2 circuit adjusts the color automatically.
Yes, America's true colors come through on GE. GE, we bring good things to life.
Let's go back to that missed point after by Tony Franklin.
See if there's anything wrong with the hole here. Looks like the ball's put down, the strings come to the front, he just hooks it.
You saw him spin the ball around, though, didn't he, to get the laces forward?
Yes, he did.
This is Richard Ellender bringing the ball back for the Oilers, and is he hit at the 20-yard line. Excellent tackle that time by Louis Jamona. And so at the 20-yard line, Houston will have it. 14-yard return. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Houston Oilers and the National Football League is prohibited. So Houston will have it at the 20-yard line. Their second possession of this first quarter of play with 9:28 remaining in it. There's Dante Pastorini. Hits 57% of his passes here in the Astrodome, but on the road it's been a different story. Here's Earl Campbell. Campbell, his first carry of the day. And he'll get 5 yards. Now remember, he trailed O.J. Anderson by 3 yards in the rushing derby. And there's the score that we mentioned earlier, Washington on top of Dallas in Irving, Texas. What a game that is. John Shira making the stop on Campbell. The three, should say probably the 4 men in the rushing derby are Campbell. He's 3 behind Anderson. Coming into today, Peyton was 113 yards behind Anderson. Montgomery, 114. Anderson was not having a big day when we last checked in that game in Chicago.
That's right. He had something like 44 yards in the third quarter.
This is Tim Wilson. Reggie Wilkes giving chase, and Wilson has a first down. Tim Wilson, he hasn't gained all that much this year, a little over 300 yards, but he has a first down run. Herman Edwards eventually knocked him down. Wilson out of the University of Maryland. He was their 3rd round draft pick in '77, their first choice that year. Thing about Houston, Sonny, is they have pretty good stable running backs. They can use Coleman, Carpenter to back up Campbell and Wilson.
A big problem they had started with, Gary, this year was the injuries in their offensive line, but getting Leon Gray certainly fortified that position.
Carpenter now in the lineup. Also, Tim Wilson. There's Carpenter going in motion. This is Earl Campbell. And Campbell picking up 5, maybe 6 yards. As he is just relentless when he carries a football. He has a lot of records that he could tie and break before the day is over. He's going for his 7th straight 100-yard day.
Just an amazing runner. A little pitch back here, and you see the guards pull. Fisher and David Carter getting out. Carter makes an excellent block there on LeMaster. The first they miss a block on Herman Edwards, but he still picks up about 6-7 yards.
And the first down to the 36-yard line. Pastorini end around to Rich Castor. Castor to the 40 and to the 42-yard line. Castor, big lanky guy at 6'5", motoring to the outside. Reggie Wilkes, Jerry Robinson, the #1 draft pick out of UCLA, over to make the stop. Going to bring up 2nd down, still 4 yards to go from the 42. There's Castor. They picked him up last year from the Jets in a fine acquisition for this team. We have a final now on that Pittsburgh game, and they didn't waste any time clinching the division, did they?
Boy, they didn't. 28-0. Well,
what a year.
What a football team, huh?
In motion goes Castor. Give to Wilson, and Wilson close to the first down as he crosses the 45, just about to the 46.
You know, we talk about Pittsburgh being a great football team, but both of these teams you're looking at right here beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
In fact, Houston did it in a course of 19 days. They've really had a tough finish this year, and this game was played in a driving rainstorm. Neil O'Donoghue kicked a field goal to win it at 8:50. You don't think Tampa Bay didn't have peanut butter in their mouth today?
3-0.
And they 3 weeks previous had thought they were going to clinch that title and couldn't get it done. Let's see if they got the first down. They're going to be just short. Bring up a 3rd down for Houston. Well, Houston's finish has really been spectacular, beating Dallas, winning, of course, Monday night against Pittsburgh. They have clinched the home field advantage, but they'll have to wait until way late Monday to know who they're going to play.
He's not very happy with just because they got a third down situation.
They have to wait on that San Diego-Denver game being played Monday night. So you got a double wing formation on a third and short yardage. Carpenter in motion. Campbell. Look at him cut. Campbell across the 45 into the 43-yard line area. Jerry Robinson made the stop. And this sellout crowd here in the Astrodome, what enthusiasm they have stirred up here in the Lone Star State.
They're certainly doing a good job on short yardage. It's not sure exactly what they, but both times they have gone to the left on their short yardage with just a pitch back and letting him just find the opening that he needs. Got outside of him again. Boy, and he's a load to get down, isn't he?
They list him at 224 pounds, but I've never seen a man with bigger thighs, bigger legs than him.
They said he was 240 in high school.
Can you imagine in high school? First down call. Tim Wilson carrying, and Wilson will be short of the 40-yard line. Claude Humphrey, Frank LeMaster making the stop. This Houston football team playing in this tough Central Division. They could win their 12th game today. That would be the most in the history of their franchise and still not win the division.
That's it. I really do feel in talking with Pastorini and some of the players on the field how disappointed they are because they realize they can finish 12-4 and still finish second. Disappointing for them.
2nd and 7. Campbell having trouble. And he's going to get out of that trouble. 35-30. And that shows you the greatness of this guy to have all that difficulty and still manage to pick up a first down.
Amazing back. All on his own. All the blocking. He just loses a handle on the ball right here. It's a good pitch. You see the pitch is right in his hands. Took his eyes off of it, but all the flow of the play and the pursuit going left, so what else to do but go back to the right side and pick up a first down.
You know, Sonny, we talk about his strength, but I'm always amazed by his quickness and speed. You know what? Campbell going off the field now. He's off to a pretty good start in this football game if he's seriously considering that rushing title. First down, the ball at the 26-yard line. There's that end around again to Castor. This time, Jerry Robinson's over there. There is a flag on the play. Did you see Robinson react to that play? Now, he's the inside linebacker on the near side of the field, and he got over there and caught up with him.
A misdirection play. That's the second time they've called that end around play.
Penalty's going to go against Houston. You know, Robinson, we're talking to Carl Peterson, the director of pro personnel for the Eagles. He just says that Robinson is just going to be great. There's just no question. It's just a matter of time. He's not as big as he's going to get. He weighs maybe 220 pounds, but he's just a great athlete.
When he wasn't even playing and wasn't starting, just playing special team, talking with Chuck Bednarik, and if anybody knows anything about
number
linebackers.
60 on the offense was holding, still first down.
That would be Ed Fisher. Go ahead, Sonny.
And talking with Chuck about him, and here's a man that should know something about linebacker play. He said to me that Robinson was going to be a great linebacker.
So it's going to be first down now, 20 yards to go. From the 36-yard line, the 10-yard penalty. Pastorini with time. And it's almost picked off by John Shira. Shira collided with Herman Edwards, or he may have had it. John Shira, who has 2 interceptions this year. Boy, this was close.
It certainly was. He throws the ball on a line here, trying to beat the football with the coverage, and you see the collision right there. And Shira comes up a little slowly, but boy, that could be a problem if they lose him. They've already lost Bernard Wilson.
There's a guy that just does everything for this football team.
The Washington Redskins are leading the Cowboys now 10-0 in the first quarter.
That has to be the most unpredictable team I've ever watched. They've just amazed me all year long. Renfro has come in at wide receiver for Houston. 2nd down and 20. This is to Renfro, but it's picked up by Bobby Howard. Howard to the 50, and Howard out of bounds at the 45-yard line. That's his 3rd interception, the 37th of his career. And this 34-year-old veteran out of San Diego State has really been an instrumental factor in this defense.
Well, he almost had his other pass picked off, and he comes right back. And this time, Howard playing soft, comes right back up, reacts to the football, makes the interception. Good return. I think Houston's a little flat. They didn't expect the Philadelphia Eagles to be playing with this much intensity.
Doesn't surprise me. Dick Vermeil's teams don't know how else to play, do they?
Introducing the first new truck of the 80s, the only American 4x4 pickup with independent front suspension, the 1980 Ford. And for the first time ever, we're going to run a four-wheel drive over these 4x4 beams next to this wall of light bulbs. A rod is attached to the front wheel and another to the door. Now watch as Ford's unique 4x4 independent front suspension steps over the beams independently. The wheel rod is breaking bulbs, but the door rod doesn't. See the first new truck of the 80s. It's built Ford tough.
When you shoot a lot of pool and bars, you want to stay fast and loose, and you don't want to get filled up. That's why I drink light beer from Miller. Got a third less calories than their regular beer, and it's less filling. Plus, the taste is great. And even though a lot of people don't think pool is strenuous, let me tell you something. You can work up a real good thirst, even when you're just showing off.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Next Saturday at 1:30 Eastern, CBS Sports presents the Sun Bowl from El Paso, Texas, with the Washington Huskies taking on the Longhorns of Texas. You'll say you saw it on CBS Sports.
Well, Pastorini just moments ago throwing his 17th interception of the year, which ties his mark of last season. Howard picking off his third pass, and there is Pastorini. Almost had an interception on the previous play, and then the next time, the Eagles came up with it. For the Eagles this year, they now have a total of 20 interceptions. Robert Montgomery can go nowhere because Robert Brazil, who's played now in the last 4 Pro Bowls, counting this one coming up, over to make the stop. Stan Walters is a spokesman for the Eagles throughout the course of the year, and we ask him about his Philadelphia Eagle team.
The Philadelphia Eagles turned their program around 4 years ago when Coach Vermeil signed on with us. And since then, we've been coming on as a strong team. And last week was a very disappointing loss to the Dallas Cowboys. But if we can gain from that, as we've gained in past adversity, we'll be ready for the playoffs this year, no matter who we have to play in the first round, either Washington or Dallas. It's been a tremendous year. We're 10-5 with a chance for our 11th win, and we're looking forward to coming back to Philadelphia with our fans and our stadium.
There's Harold Carmichael. Carmichael to the 11-yard line. Vernon Perry making the stop. A flag is thrown, and now Carmichael's streak has been extended to 112 games with at least 1 catch.
Boy, good protection this time. Watch that Eagle offensive line do a job. Morris does it. All the pressure went behind him. A good crossing pattern, and Perry hooked him, and he's going to get called for that. Penalty's going to go against Vernon Perry. Carmichael, the completion.
Carmichael now with 51 catches. That was good for 36 yards. Carmichael, you can't say enough about him this year. The pressure he's played under, trying to break that record by Danny Abramowitz.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 32 on the defense. First down.
Well, Perry's a hitter. He played in the Canadian Football League for Montreal, and they really like him.
Right at the end of the play, when he got behind Carmichael a little bit, looked like he was trying to figure out, how am I going to get this big man down?
He is a problem. First and goal now at the 5-yard line. The Eagles with a 6-0 lead. They missed the point after. Jaworski to Harris, and that play just didn't get underway. Little mix-up in the backfield.
The defensive line just really stuffed that. They came through, and they defeated the play that time. Give them some credit. They really stuffed that offensive line of the Eagles that time and stopped it right. No place for Harris to run.
Curly Culp, see him, number 78. He was the ringleader of that last play. Culp was an outstanding wrestler in college at Arizona State, the NCAA champion. He's 6'1", weighs 265 pounds. I don't think there's an ounce of fat. Second and goal from the 5. Jaworski, Carmichael, check that, right. Charles Smith over there with J.C. Wilson on him. Pretty well covered in that area, wasn't he?
Good coverage that time. Nobody to go to. He did the smart thing by throwing. If he goes to Krefli, he may get it in. But he was a little late thinking of making the decision to go to Krefli that time and wisely threw the ball out of the end zone.
That was J.C. Wilson back there. He has 6 interceptions. You realize that the Oilers have 34 interceptions this year.
That's because of that good pass rush.
The record is 36 for Houston. That was set in 1962. 3rd and goal now. This is Carmichael. Wilson again defending. Boy, they went into that wall pretty hard. Wilson on Carmichael, and so they hold, and they're going to have to attempt the field goal.
He had what he wanted. He had single coverage. You can see how upset he is. If he'd had a little shorter, I think Carmichael would have had it.
As tall as he is, you would figure maybe he should have gotten it up a little higher, huh?
No, he just overthrew him a little bit, and he's a little disappointed. But you have to make a very accurate throw on that type of pass, and we've seen him a couple of times. You see Dick talking to him about it.
Tony Franklin to come in and attempt a 22-yard field goal. Shy with a hole. Franklin this year has hit 21 of 29. And he powers that one, no question about it. Tony Franklin with his 22nd field goal. The record for the Eagles is 24, held by Tom Dempsey. That was in 1973. Tonight on CBS, catch a brand new edition of 60 Minutes, followed by Archie Bunker's Place, where Barney takes the fall, but Archie howls. Then there's male rivalry on One Day at a Time, followed by Eric Estrada, Lonnie Anderson, and more on the 4th annual Circus of the Stars. It's all on CBS tonight. Sonny, we've been handed a note here on that Chicago-St. Louis game. O.J. Anderson is out of the game the 3rd quarter with a knee injury. Unknown to the extent of it. Thus far for the day, Anderson 14 carries for 39 yards. So that obviously affects Earl Campbell and Wilbert Montgomery here today, but we certainly hope that that sensational rookie is not seriously hurt.
Well, what a great year he's had, regardless if he wins the thing or not.
Dick Vermeil, last year the NFC Coach of the Year, and he's talking things over with Ron Jaworski, and I don't think he's too happy right now.
I think the play that you mentioned before, you know, Krefli, he passed up Krefli then, but I think if he had wanted to throw him, he could have gotten a touchdown going to him.
9-0. The Eagles with the lead. Here comes Ellender. Ellender with an excellent run. He just kept going. There's a flag on the play. He gets it out to the 39-yard line. Scott Fitzke, the rookie out of Penn State, made the tackle. This is one area that really Houston has not excelled in, and that is kickoff and punt returns. But that time Ellender did quite a job, a 32-yard return on the kickoff. They started the year with Billy White Shoes Johnson, and he sustained a very serious knee injury. In fact, he tore all 4 ligaments in the knee, and he's rehabilitating that knee right now. He's at each one of the games standing on the sideline, but what an exciting young performer he is. Big discussion going on.
Long discussion about this penalty, maybe offsetting penalties. There are 2 flags down.
This Houston team does not have great speed, Sonny, but boy, they're physical. And when you have a guy by the name of Campbell, you can really hide a lot of your shortcomings, can't you?
Here we go. Let's see what it is. Oops. There's one holding.
Face mask.
Offsetting.
So Red Cashin still talking it over with his troops.
Where do they go with the football?
Looks like one of our production meetings before the game. Trying to figure out what we're going to do, right?
I can figure out which one's Mr. Rowe.
Well, we're going to get this settled soon, folks. Just hang in there with us. 2:56 remaining in this first quarter of play. Now he's going to explain it.
Holding. Number 63 on the receivers. Face mask. Number 67 on the kickers. It will be the receiver's ball at the spot of their foul. First down.
All right. Try to check all those numbers. That's Lynn Burnham for the Eagles that was guilty of that. And Atlanta came from behind in that game. San Francisco had the lead early in that. San Francisco finishing the year with 2 wins. Atlanta with a disappointing year, but they finished kind of strong, haven't they? They played well the last couple of weeks. And look at Baltimore over the Giants.
How about that? That's a surprise to me. Baltimore 31-7.
Giants didn't look good last week against St. Louis either. The other guy that was guilty on that play was Steve Baumgartner for Houston. So the two culprits have been caught, and the ball is just short of the 25-yard line. Number 34, Jerry Robinson, making the stop just short of the 30-yard line.
It's got to be such a tendency or a temptation when you're a quarterback, when you have somebody this great, not to give it to him every play because you realize you're going to have a successful play. Good line charge that time. David Carter coming off, making a good charge into Robinson. Robinson plays the block off and finally makes a tackle, but not after he picked up about 7 yards anyway.
Isn't that something? Last Monday night he accomplished that. You mentioned carries. He set an NFL record this year for carries, 352 coming into this game. So he is earning every penny. Flag on the play as Campbell this time doesn't get a lot. Maybe to the 32.
I think the man in motion was going toward the line of scrimmage that time, and there's another final. Cincinnati, they beat their big rival Cleveland.
Cleveland had an outside shot of still making the playoffs prior to that one, and now of course that seals their doom. Penalty going to go against Houston.
Man in motion was going toward the line of scrimmage before the snap of the football.
Let's talk about Campbell a little bit, Sonny. He has 10 100-yard days, 17 in 2 years. Let's listen here.
Number 88 of the offense moving forward at the snap, still second down.
Well, you've got the great eyes there, Mr. Jurgensen.
Well, you got to pay attention.
But anyway, I started to say, if he would get a 100-yard day today, he would tie the record held by O.J. Simpson, who had 11 100-yard days back in 1973. He's going for his 7th straight 100-yard day, which would also tie O.J.'s record. And here he comes. 35, 40, is he something? Out to the 42-yard line and a first down run. Boy, he showed quickness on that play.
Amazing runner, amazing. You know, I think what his coach said kind of sums it up best of all. He said, Earl may not be in a class by himself, but whatever class he's in, it doesn't take long to call the roll. And you can see why right there.
17-yard run to the 43-yard line. What was it he also said? Bum is one of the most quotable people. He said something about, he is what water is to a man in the desert. First down from the 43. Ken Burrow to the bottom of the screen. 9-0. The Eagles are the lead. 2 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Pastorini. And this is John Budding, the second interception of the day. Budding, his second of the year. And Pastorini is not throwing the ball that accurately.
He didn't read the coverage in. He was very late with the football. And he really felt that he was going to be able to throw the football against Philadelphia. He felt that backs played loose, but I don't think the backs might play a little loose back there. But the linebackers are getting good drops at time, and Bunning picks one off.
You know, that profile of Bum Phillips reminds me of a quarterback that used to wear number 9.
Boy, you don't coach with your stomach.
Do you throw with your stomach? But you are just you've really kept your way down now. I'm proud of you. Slim. Yes, sir. He sure is. From the 40-yard line. Jaworski to Carmichael again, and he's wide open. That's a first down catch, just short of the 45. Ted Washington over to make the stop. Washington, you can see the right hand heavily wrapped. He broke that hand, missed one of the games this year. Let's go back and watch Carmichael on this 15-yard pickup.
You know, when you got the leading receiver, you wonder how man can get open this way. He comes across underneath, just trying to find the open spot. Look at him. Nobody around him. Here's the blue shirt coming into the picture. Washington finally dragging him down, but you'd think that they'd get some people around the leading receiver.
I would think so. Made that look easy. First down at the 46-yard line, Montgomery, a great cutback runner, maybe the best in the game today. Close to the 40-yard line, Greg Bingham out of Purdue over there to make the tackle once again. You know, Montgomery is not small. He's 5'10", he weighs 195. He's just so doggone strong, his legs. And he's worked hard at that in the offseason.
Boy, looking at those stats, they weren't too shabby, were they?
Not too bad. First Eagle in history to have back-to-back 1,000-yard years. had 7 100-yard days himself, and he has the best day of the year. He had 197 yards against the Browns earlier this year. Campbell had the second best, 195. Here he goes. Look at that cut. He avoided the tackle. A flag on the play as he's inside the 40 to the 39. A lot of penalties in this game. This is against Philadelphia. A lot of penalties, and we still have 25 seconds to go in this first quarter. That'll back him up.
Call. Greg Bingham, number 54.
Tell you, you have to do anything you can to keep that imposing forward wall off your quarterback and your running backs. They are something.
Number 50 of the offense, holding, still second down.
It's Guy Morris trying to stay alive against Curly Culp.
When you get Curly Culp on your nose, they should allow you to hold.
Look at that forward wall. Doris has 9.5 sacks. Culp has 3. Bethea only has 1.5, but his backup, Baker, has 15.5. Stingerud has had 2 sacks in the last 2 games. Second down, 15 yards to go. From the 49. Jaworski, and he has his man at the 49-yard line. That's Billy Campfield. Just across into Houston into the field. Billy Campfield, who's been a very valuable member of this football team. He's done everything they've asked him to do.
This time Houston played a little soft, gave him the pass underneath because they set up. They're still about 3rd and 12, so they gave him that pass. You see linebackers just coming up as we're going to run out of time here in the first quarter.
Billy Campfield with his 13th catch of the year. There's our score. Philadelphia missing the point after. They lead it 9-0.
This is John Kruger. He owns a small drugstore in Claremont, New Hampshire, and he bought an IBM computer to help him run it.
Today, with the price of computers coming down the way it has, even a small business like mine can afford one.
John Kruger's IBM computer automatically prints out prescription labels and receipts. It even produces a year-end record of money spent on medication by each customer, and it keeps track of all his inventory.
I found another way to use the computer. As a volunteer fireman, I'm developing a handbook that lists emergency information on every house in town, like the nearest source of water, whether there are kids or old folks living at home, things like that. We've held some practice runs, and we think it's going to save us a lot of time. If you think I'm pleased with the computer, you want to talk to my wife. For the first time in years, I've been getting home before the dinner's cold.
IBM, helping put information to work for people.
Introducing the 80 Ford Courier. Based on EPA estimates, it could be like money in the bank, because Courier is the gas mileage champ of the best-selling compact pickups. Yes, based on EPA estimates, Courier gets better gas mileage than any of the other bestsellers. Courier gets better gas mileage than Chevy Love, better than Datsun, better than Toyota. The tough Ford Courier. It could be like money in the bank.
With Sonny Jurgensen, I'm Gary Bender. We start the second quarter play. 9-0. The Eagles with the lead. The Eagles in the first quarter had 1 penalty for 10 yards, but Houston had 6 penalties for 34 yards, and that's just in 15 minutes of play. Third down, 11 yards to go. Montgomery. And look how tough he is to bring down. The 40-yard line, he's still going to be short of the first down. Greg Bingham over to make the tackle. And Wilbert Montgomery this year has 37 catches. He's just been an all-around performer. Jaworski coming into this game, Sonny, 2,500 yards. That's surpassed last year's output.
That's bringing in Tony Franklin for a long field goal. How long will this kick be?
Oh, boy, he kicked one 59 yards earlier this year, the second longest in the history of the National Football League. And this is going to be a 57-yard, well, 56-yard attempt. Well, for him, anything's possible, right?
He can hit it. He's in range.
He has 3 over 50, and I'll be darned, he kicked the ball.
He punted it, and look where it is.
And it's going to go out at about the 6-yard line.
Unbelievable.
You know something? Somebody's going to have to be aware of that in the playoffs, aren't they?
Oh, what a smart play it was.
Let's go
take
back
a
and
look
watch
at
it.
this. He's talking about, take a look at it. He looks up. Let's check his form out as a punter. Hey, he almost kicked Shara, didn't he? Shara had to go over the block. He almost kicked him, but he got a good roll.
Well, I tell you, no one was more surprised than Houston, because Franklin can kick him from 56 yards. At the 6, they have it. I was stunned.
Holidays were made for Michelob. Holidays were made for special friends.
What better beer than Michelob for the holiday season? Special enough to make the right impression, friendly enough to show you care. No wonder Michelob has become a holiday tradition.
Holidays were made for Michelob.
This is the Army. It's learning how to be a soldier and how to be much more. It's cold streams that chill your bones and a hot meal to warm you up. It's softball and rope bridges. It's 100 ways to prove yourself. This is the Army. If you'd like to be part of it, call this number toll-free.
Back at the Houston Astrodome. Quite a surprise here. Tony Franklin with a punt. The ball down at the 6-yard line. Pastorini from the end zone. And he gets it out across the 10 to the 11-yard line. And he was in danger of being sacked for the safety on that play. Charlie Johnson eventually tripped him up. Pretty good job by Pastorini.
Is it Charlie Johnson that trips him up, or is it the referee that trips him up? Take a look at this. He's in the end zone, flirting with getting caught for a safety, spins out of there, and let's see who hits him.
You're right.
I don't know if he just tripped on his own.
Johnson touched him. Let's put it that way.
Safe.
There's Ron Jaworski, who scrambled earlier for a touchdown, a 4-yard run, the first touchdown of this game. Here comes Campbell, and Campbell just kind of moves that line of scrimmage forward, doesn't he? The 15, Jerry Robinson, Charlie Johnson in on the stop. Going to be short of the first down. It'll be a 3rd down coming up.
That's his shortest gain, isn't it? He hasn't had the big long run this year, has he? What's his longest run, about 36 yards or something?
He had one last year, though. He took off, 80-some yards in a game. Well, let's see. His longest run is 61 yards, Sonny.
This year?
Yep, 61 yards. Boy, this is something. I don't believe this.
17 to nothing.
3rd down, a yard to go. And they go to Campbell, and boy, it's going to be close. It looked like he's going to get that first down, and Carl Hairston came ramming through there. See where they mark it. It'll be very, very close. I'm going to have to measure. Let's look at it again.
It's straight ahead time. Well, you see how tough he is to get down. Shara did a good job to come up there and drive him backwards.
You don't set him back very often. He usually falls forward on all those carries. And let's see.
What do you think?
They made it.
Close, huh?
It was close.
Washington got their touchdown. Now lead Dallas 17 to nothing. Joe Theismann, a 55-yard pass to Benny Malone.
Benny Malone. They don't usually leave him in there on those passing situations.
Yeah, but when you play Dallas, you throw on the early downs.
That's probably right. Campbell, by the way, now has 68 yards on 8 carries. Anderson, we mentioned earlier, not having a big day. It looks like Campbell may win his 2nd straight rushing title if things continue as they are. Pastorini on 1st down. A lot of time. Campbell to the 20-yard line. You know, they don't throw very much to Earl. In fact, that's only his 16th catch of the year. They take him out on a lot of passing plays.
I imagine the reason is that he has so many people going with him regardless if he has the ball or not.
So Pastorini now will have a 2nd down and 6 coming up. Look at this, 1 of 5 for 5 yards for Pastorini. The last 5 games, He's hit 58% of his passes for almost 900 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Boy, he was really having a miserable start, though. He's still ranked 13th in the AFC. Guido Merkins is now in at a wide receiver. Here's Tim Wilson. And Wilson very close to the first down, shoved back by Jerry Robinson. Well, Robinson in on a lot of tackles. He's made some big plays. The one I think of in particular, Sonny, is that game in Green Bay. Remember that? 4th and goal. Lynn Dickey rolled out and Robinson came up and stopped him short of the goal line.
Short of that would have put them back in the game too, as a matter of fact. Look at this one all tied up. The Rams and the Saints.
If the Saints could win that, it would assure them of their first non-losing season in their 13-year history. They're 7-8 going into that. And also, if they lose, it would match last year's record of 7-9. The Rams, of course, have already clinched their 7th straight NFC Western title. Boy, they have missed that by an inch.
Last time they made it by an inch, this time a little short by an inch, huh?
We've had a lot of measurements in this game, haven't we? So it's going to bring up short yardage. 3rd down, and, well, you can see how far they have to go. You can't get any closer and not make it. So Philadelphia with a 9-0 lead. Hoping to win their 11th. That would be the most since 1949. Their 10 victories matched the 1961 team that Mr. Jurgensen was the quarterback of. Pastorini to Campbell, and Campbell gets it easily, and a flag on the play. Out to almost the 30-yard line. Reggie Wilkes out of Georgia Tech making the stop. It's offside. So they'll probably go ahead and take that because that wasn't quite a 5-yard run. Boy, Campbell always looking for that little crease, that little area to break a big one every time he gets that football.
He's one of those runners, if you don't get him early, you're in a lot of trouble. If you let him get out in the secondary, and in reading some of the articles here, that's what they really try to do, is just get him freed up in the secondary where that smaller defensive back.
The defense is offside. Penalty is declined. First down.
I guess he did run further than 5 yards, huh? 4 yards.
They just want to give him the yards.
I guess that's it, because they lose a yard in that exchange.
But they did, as I was saying, they like to get him in the secondary where a smaller defensive back has to make a tackle on him. He's hard to bring down out there by yourself.
Renfro has come in at wide receiver. He joins Castor. Mike Barber also in at tight end. Barber flanked out. You see him, the bottom of the screen. That's Castor in motion. Pastorini with a play action. Tim Wilson at the 32-yard line. Tim has 28 catches this year, but we have another flag.
I think they called Conway Heyman holding that time.
Which reminds me of a game we had earlier this year. We had so many penalties. And right now we're headed in that direction.
With Maurice Towns banged up a little bit, not starting because of an elbow problem, Heyman's had to be the handyman in that offensive line. They've moved him to right tackle today. Usually plays guard.
Number 70 on the offense was holding. Still first down.
We have an update on that Chicago-St. Louis game. O.J. Anderson is back in the game, so that's good news. We had heard that he had sustained a knee injury. You know, they were playing in a chill factor of a minus 14 degrees up there, the wind blowing in Soldier Field. Anderson's never played in cold weather.
Always had it in my contract. I had a cold weather clause in my contract.
1st and 20. This is Carpenter, and Carpenter breaks it out across the 30 to the 33-yard line. John Shira made the stop, so on a 1st and 20, they get about 14 of those back.
Good cutback this time. Take a look at it. Good move that time to find the opening. Rob Carpenter almost breaks it out here. It's pulled down. Big run that time.
And so moving it out to the 32. It'll be 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Houston trailing 9-0. They're headed to the wild card playoff against, well, they'll have to wait on San Diego and Denver to see. Here comes Carpenter again. Carpenter this time hit pretty hard. It's Charlie Johnson getting up. Herman Edwards, Carl Hairston. Hairston did not make the Pro Bowl team, Sonny, but it's just so doggone difficult to make it because of guys like Youngblood and Harvey Martin. You know, Who are you going to keep out of there?
You have so many great players nowadays, so with 28 teams that you're going to miss some people.
Hairston, 14 sacks this year, plays the rush the Eagles feel as well as anybody in the game. 3rd down, 7 yards to go. Pastorini hits Carpenter, and Carpenter just about got the first down. Let's see where they mark the ball. Shira kind of crossed him up on that play. Pretty good job of faking the football by Pastorini.
A good call. The draw play is a good call on 3rd down because people are rushing the passer. They rush the passer then. He got a little daylight, almost got the first down, but he's going to come up a little short. Looks like they might kick it away.
4th down. See Leon Gray, 74, on the right of your picture. Boy, you talk about an acquisition that kept them moving. When they had the unfortunate surgery to Greg Sampson, they brought Gray in for a number 1 and a number 6 pick. And that's like stealing the way he's been playing.
I think they're going for it. They're going for it.
We have 8:38 to go until halftime. The Oilers trailing 9-0. It's 4th down, inches.
Well, I guess they figure the game doesn't mean anything. They're in the playoffs. They can't win the division. Why not go for it?
And when you have number 34, I think the percentages are in your favor. In fact, on 3rd and 4th downs this year, he has converted on 65% of them. That's like money in the bank.
Do you have to guess who's the ball's going to?
Well, there's only one running back there now. And here he comes. They're not going to go up the inside, though, but he gets it anyway. Now, that's an interesting call. You have 4th and less than a yard to go. You'd think you'd go straight up the field, and they go wide.
That's the 3rd time they've gone wide. That shows some respect for that Philadelphia Eagle middle of that defensive line. But each time they've come up 3rd and very short, that time 4th and very short, they have run that same play, the pitch out.
I guess when you play against Campbell, nothing's normal. They don't have to play normally. They can do the unusual things. Well, he already has 78 yards in this game. 10 carries. I think he's going to have a big day. He wants that rushing crowd now. Here he comes again. Well, he was bunched up, and he still was able to slide through. Carl Mock was hung up that time with Carl Hairston. They were all run together. Campbell fires forward, and his forward progress to the 48-yard line.
Maybe they're going to get him the 100 yards in the halftime and rest him the second half.
Well, that would tie the record. 7 straight 100-yard days. 11 for the year. Rob Carpenter has come in now. Campbell has checked out. There's the stats on number 34. Renfro, one of the wide receivers, number 82, coming to the bottom of your picture. 2nd down and 7. Pressure put on by Claude Humphrey. Pastorini trying
to play indoors. Bad weather bothers him a little bit, and when you get on the road up in Cleveland and Pittsburgh in that outdoors, it's a little different than playing inside here.
And you know that title game last year in Pittsburgh, that was lousy weather. Remember that?
That's
3rd
right.
down and 7. Castor. Shira over there. Castor at 6'5", couldn't come up with it, and that brings up 4th down.
Well, he made a bad throw then. Threw the ball off balance. He didn't get himself set to deliver it. Doesn't look like his mind's really on the game, does it? And the stats kind of indicate that.
You're absolutely right. Humphrey was putting pretty good pressure on that play. And so Cliff Parsley will come in. There's Bum. He doesn't wear his hat in the Astrodome because there's a roof here, and his mother told him that you shouldn't wear a hat in the house. He'll wear his hat on the road outside. There's Wally Henry. Henry, by the way, is 3rd in the NFC in punt returns. Almost 9 yards a return. And Houston this year has been giving up 11 yards on each punt return, which is not good. This time, no return. Ellender down there. They're going to down the football inside the 15-yard line. And so the Eagles, with a 9-0 lead, will have the football. We have 6 minutes, 32 seconds remaining in this first half. The Eagles hoping to win number 11.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours a happy and safe holiday season.
For 1980, Ford did it. Completely redesigned its pickup trucks for outstanding gas mileage. Tough new Fords with the best gas mileage rating of any American-built standard pickup. Tough new Broncos with the best V8 gas mileage rating in its class. Tough Ford vans again with the best gas mileage ratings. And tough new Ford mediums. See the complete line of 1980 Ford trucks now. They're built Ford Tough.
Christmas Day at 12:30 Eastern. Dr. J makes a house call on Washington. It's the 76ers and Bullets. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Look at this score, 42-6. Chicago still the chance to make it as a wild card.
Well, with Washington leading, it kind of eliminates that big score for them, but I'm sure they have that in mind today.
Of course, that game is a long ways from being over. That being Dallas and Washington. This is Leroy Harris. Harris out to the 20-yard line. Green, Bingham, and just as I mentioned that, Dallas is on the scoreboard.
Yes, they are. And guess who's playing in Chicago? Mr. Hart, threw a touchdown pass in that game. Thought he wasn't playing anymore this season.
Well, that situation in St. Louis has been in a state of flux this year. There's Gifford Nielsen, who is a backup quarterback to Pastorini, and we were just watching Bum Phillips. Looked like they were seriously considering making a change.
Well, I think they're concerned about the enthusiasm that Dan's has for this game so far, and he isn't playing very well, and they might make a change and go to Nielsen probably in the second half.
On a 2nd and 6, Montgomery, and he loses a football. That is his 14th fumble of the year. Montgomery, who leads the NFL, and the ball separated from him. As an end result, Bingham comes up with it for the Houston Oilers. The first big break for Houston, as Eagles with 2 turnovers, coming up with 2 interceptions earlier.
Yes, he's trying to put the ball away. As you said, 14 for the year. I don't think he anticipated the man coming off the deck that time and making the play. I think it was J.C. Wilson that came up and made the hit on him, and then Bingham comes up with the football.
You know what the record is for a season on fumbles? It's 15, and that's held by Terry Metcalf.
Doesn't Pastorini have a record like that also for a lot of fumbles?
I think just for running backs, though. So Montgomery is 1 away from tying the NFL record. First down. Campbell. Uh-oh. Late hit, and that is not going to make the Houston fans very happy. That is the franchise, and you just don't do that with a franchise.
Well, he didn't mean to do it. I tell you, he didn't know that he was quitting going out of bounds. Take a look at this. I think it's Charlie Johnson. See who makes the hit here. No, it's Carl Harrison makes the hit. He's already out of bounds. Could have been a penalty.
It wasn't as bad as I thought. I thought he hit him around the legs, which is what you'd be concerned about. He hit him high, and as you said, I know Hairston wasn't aware of where he was on the playing field.
Exactly, and they were apologizing afterward. A player that great, you don't take cheap shots at, and I'm sure that wasn't intended to be one.
They lose a yard. 2nd and 11. Groth is in at wide receiver. Pastorini's looking to him. There's Groth, and there immediately was Bobby Howard. So Groth, his first catch.
Just a quick out pattern. Pastorini needs to throw some quick rhythm passes to get his timing down a little bit, and that's what he did then, and maybe that's what they told him on the sideline. They saw him having a little conference over there because everything he'd been throwing was long rhythm passes. You need to get a few completions under your belt.
3rd down, 5 yards to go. The Oilers trying to get on the scoreboard, trailing 9-0, 5.5 minutes to go before halftime. Campbell to the 10. Shiro with the stop. It'll be a 1st and goal. And you saw the strength of Earl Campbell on that play.
He is some kind of strong.
Well, you know, Leon Gray is one of the big reasons that Campbell's had so much success. He was traded from New England. We asked him what he felt, what he thought would happen. Would he fit in Houston?
The thing that's most gratifying for me this year is that when I originally traded to Houston, I had mixed emotions because I didn't know exactly how I was going to fit into the scheme of things. But lo and behold, with a lot of hard work and a lot of help from my teammates, we sort of turned things around and proved that we were a legitimate contending ball club. And now we have a chance to, like I said earlier, to win 12 games, to go off in the playoffs on a high note. And I'm just proud and happy with all the support that we've got from the fans here in the Houston area this year.
They picked him up for a first-round draft pick, a sixth-round pick. Here's Campbell running again on a first and goal. Just short of the 5-yard line. Prior to that carry, Campbell had 78 yards. Jerry Robinson, Claude Humphrey combining on the stop. It'll be second and goal there. Look at a little discussion going on out there. Campbell is one of those guys who reminds you of Jim Brown, doesn't he? He just gets up, looks like he's not going to be able to run the ball the next play.
That's when he's doing his resting. We have an update on his stats, Gary. He's carried now. He's got 90 yards.
90. 10 yards away from that 100-yard day, which would tie 2 records. Caster in motion, Campbell, and he's going for that goal line. Just short of it. Nope, he's in. Touchdown. That was a late decision. They did not indicate it for quite some time.
We'll watch it down close, see if he breaks the plane of that goal line. You're seeing it from ground level here. He cuts back here. No place to run outside. Here he comes in. I don't know. That doesn't look like a ball has broken the plane of the goal line.
Well, they did not indicate touchdown for quite some time either. But he's in now, and it's a 9-6 football game. Tony Frisch, the point after attempt. Gifford Nielsen will hold.
What is that, 19 touchdowns?
And that ties a record by Jim Taylor of the Green Bay Packers. And Frisch adds a point after. It's a 2-point game. That missed point after earlier by Tony Franklin looming bigger as this game wears on. 3:47 to go till halftime. Eagles lead by 2.
Where have you been?
At the Colonel's, getting dinner for the family.
Must be tough pleasing a big family like yours.
Nah, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Folks like it tender and juicy, with 11 herbs and spices. So, original recipe. My brothers like it crisp. So, extra crispy.
What about you?
I'm flexible. I love them both.
It's so nice, nice to feel so good about a meal. So good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Fist buds for all the people who make the sidelines a part of the show.
Fist buds for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
Fist buds for you.
Hi, I'm Rocky Bleier of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The problem of energy conservation is one you can't lateral, the way some of us try and lateral the football. We all have to pitch in, and right now. Energy. We can't afford to waste it.
The preceding message was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League and CBS. Well, there's Santa.
Is this a Santa Claus caper?
Well, while we were away, they started playing the Houston Oilers music here, and they got those pom-poms going here. They are excited in Houston as their team has cut the lead to 2. Wally Henry. Henry with some running room. Flag thrown just short of the 30-yard line. Had he stayed on his feet, Sonny, and gotten to the outside, he may have gone all the way. Jeff Groth stopped him after a 25-yard return. The flag against Philadelphia.
And we're going to have some kind of infraction, maybe clipping.
An update on Campbell, by the way, after that 6-yard touchdown run. He has what, 97 yards now?
97 yards.
19 touchdowns. He will have had, for the year, 11 100-yard days when he gets 3 more. He'll also have picked up his 7th straight 100-yard day. Both of those will tie records by the juice, O.J. Simpson.
I think I played on teams at times that didn't get 19 touchdowns on a season.
Number 58 of the receivers, illegal use of the hands during the run back, 1st and 10.
That's Terry Tatalo. And so the penalty moves the ball to the 15-yard line. And there's Lynn Burnham. Very fine pass rusher, defensive end. On the 15, you can see the momentum starting to switch a little bit in this game. The crowd here is at a fever pitch.
Yeah, I kind of felt that Houston was going through the motions, and I think Philadelphia got their attention a little bit.
But Montgomery comes flying out of there. And Wilbert Montgomery out to the 23. Greg Bingham making the stop for Houston.
Boy, this is a good run this time. Right after that, I think this is a good, smart thing to do. After Montgomery had fumbled, they come right back to him, give him the ball, get his confidence back, and he makes a real fine run here. Picks up about 8 yards.
Second down and still 3 yards to go. Smith, Carmichael, flanked out. Jaworski giving to Harris, and Harris didn't get much. It's going to bring up a third down. Stuffed that one up pretty well. Jaworski this year has gotten the nickname of Jaws. He's played through a lot of injuries. In fact, it seemed like every game there was something. He had the finger that bothered him. He had the ankle that bothered him, but he's always been able to answer the bell. He's played and started every game this year. John Walton, his backup, has played very capably. He's staring down that guy on the sideline, isn't he?
He wants to get that information. You know, he's had a remarkable success, like only one interception in his last 100 and, well, now you got about 150 attempts.
That's right. There's 133 coming in here. Here's Montgomery with a first down run. Boy, he's something to watch. Out to the 31-yard line. Greg Bingham made the stop. Bingham's been making about every tackle here in this game.
Let's see if we can watch Keith Kreppley right here blocking on this play. He comes off blocking into Ted Washington, the linebacker. Finally, boy, he keeps fighting, and I tell you what, he ties him up enough to allow Montgomery to cut back. I'm wondering about Montgomery coming into this game with a great back that Campbell is, if he'd like to really do well in front of him.
I think that's a good point. It's kind of like, I'm going to show you what I can do. We'll be back.
Is luxury obsolete? Not at all. It's here in Lincoln Continental 1980. All the traditional look and feel of luxury driving, totally redesigned to be trim and efficient, with a dramatic 41% increase in EPA estimated miles per gallon over last year. And as standard equipment, an ingenious new automatic overdrive transmission. Lincoln Continental 1980, town car and town coupe.
Let's go, son. John and your mother are waiting.
I'll catch up, Dad. This is important.
So's this dinner.
Partner. Partner?
You've earned it, son.
Now you should know about Inglenook, America's superior wine. For those moments in life that are just a little special, remember Inglenook when the toast is from your heart.
To my new partner, who I love like a son.
Next Saturday, the CBS Sports Spectacular features super skates with former Olympians and world champions performing, plus action in the pool. You'll say you saw it on CBS Sports.
9-7, our score. If you're wondering how the 9 points were reached, not 3 field goals, but they missed a point after a touchdown early in this game. The Eagles now with a first down with 2 minutes remaining in this first half of play. From the 31-yard line, Jaworski, pressure put on by Bingham. Oh, did Greg Bingham hit him from the blind side? You know, they'll blitz their linebackers a lot. Washington, for instance, the other linebacker, has 8 sacks this year.
Well, he made a throw then. He threw the ball away. I don't think he realized the pressure was coming, but Bingham comes in. It's a good thing he did because Wilson was making a move on the football that time. If the ball was not underthrown, I think he may have been intercepted. Now, he did get the ball off, but you can see right there, a man was driving on the football. If it had it up, it may have been intercepted.
There's Bingham. Boy, what a football player. 4th round draft pick in 73. This will be the 7th straight year he's led the team in tackles. Second down, 10. Montgomery. And Montgomery falls forward what looks like to be the first down, or awfully close to it. Bingham again out on the stop. And we're going to have a timeout used by Philadelphia. They have 2 remaining, and you see the time remaining. 1:47. Montgomery has become a very fine pass receiver this year. And Jaworski finding him open over the middle. So with 1:47, the Eagles talk things over. They have a 9-7 lead here in the Astrodome.
By trying harder to save you money, Avis introduced low See America rates.
Keep on trying, America. The effort is really everything. We keep on trying, America.
Because we keep trying, more Americans can afford to see more of America.
At Avis, we don't give up. Trying.
Bobby Hull belongs to a very special circle, the Schaefer Circle, because he knew that being great meant finding that opening and slamming that slap shot home at 118 miles an hour every time. At Schaefer, we brew our beer to taste great every time, beer after beer. Don't you deserve a beer that good?
So come into the Schaefer Circle.
Monday night on CBS starts with WKRP in Cincinnati at its new time 8/7 Central, followed by the return of the Last Resort. And then there's more great comedy. That's all Monday night on CBS as Wilbert Montgomery fires forward. He does pick up the first down. They were just short of it a moment ago. The Eagles are not huddling. They're ready to go as the clock shows 1:34 left in this first half, and you can see it counting down. 9-7 Philadelphia. Jaworski, 2 timeouts remaining for the Eagles. As he hits Montgomery, Montgomery has another first down to the 45 of Houston.
And moving, they called another timeout, stop the clock, go over and get another couple of plays. We see how many yards that Walter Payton has here. He has 130 yards in 30 carries today.
All right, now he trailed Campbell by 113, so really, the way Campbell's playing today, there's no way that Payton or Montgomery would figure to catch Campbell. The big story is whether Anderson's able to add anything in that game, as he was the only man ahead of Earl Campbell. Campbell would be the 3rd man in the history of the NFL to lead in rushing the first 2 years. First guy to do it was a guy by the name of Jim Brown in 1957. So Jaworski with 1 timeout remaining. 1:18 left. At halftime, we'll be going to the NFL today with Brent, Jane, and Irv as they'll update us on this last weekend. I don't think anybody figured that the 16th week of the regular season would have so many undecided situations.
And so many important games. You look at the one in Dallas right now. They're playing for the Eastern Division Championship. The Central Division Championship was decided in the NFC today.
Tampa winning 3-0 on a field goal in a driving rainstorm, and John McKay waited 4 Sundays to get that accomplished.
The AFC Central was decided today.
There's next Sunday. Philadelphia has already clinched the home site for that wild card game if they do not win the division. Jaworski on a first down to Montgomery. Montgomery, look at this guy do it at the 40, 35, 30. He cuts it to the 25. Stringer made the stop. He thought for a moment he was going to try to get out of bounds to stop the clock, but he got additional yardage. The Eagles are trying to get another play called, and you see the time, inside a minute to go. 21-yard pickup on the play. Jaworski's just going to kill the clock if he can get rid of the ball, and he does. He couldn't find anybody open, as on the near side Smith was covered very well by J.C. Wilson. That stops the clock with 46 seconds.
Oh, he did a smart thing then. Take a look at this screen pass. This is a good play. Greg Bingham had played it well, but he couldn't quite. You see right there the cutback ability of Montgomery, cut it back. Then he made a good run after this. I thought he was going to go out of bounds too. He saw a little more daylight, got a few more yards out of it.
Boy, the quick feet of Montgomery.
Yeah, that helped him escape Greg Bingham.
Well, you know they're already in field goal range for Tony Franklin, but they're thinking 6 points now. Jaworski rifles it to Carmichael behind him. Boy, he hung that one out there, didn't he?
That would have hurt you if he'd have called that one.
That ball's in Dallas now. So that stops it with 42 seconds.
Mike Reinfeldt with 12 interceptions had pretty good coverage that time.
You know, his 12, of course, leads the NFL. He has tied the Oiler record held by Fred Glick, who's now an assistant coach with the football Cardinals. The record for the NFL was by a guy I imagine caused you some problems, Night Train Lane.
Now, why would you say that?
Well, you had a couple interceptions in your career, huh?
I don't remember them.
Third down and 10. They don't get it here. Franklin will come in. Smith, the intended receiver. Wait a minute. That was Wally Henry who had come in. Stembrick defending on the play, and so Tony Franklin will check in. Wally Henry was covered as well as you can cover someone.
Yeah, he threw it away. A little disappointed, but he made a good throw, just keeping it away, keeping it from being intercepted. And they're definitely in field goal range. But Tony Franklin.
Well, Franklin earlier we thought was going to kick one from 56 yards. He ended up punting. This time he'll attempt a 41-yarder. Franklin, who's already kicked 22-yard field goal today, and Franklin has enough distance, and it is good. I've never known a kicker, Sonny, that can kick the ball with any more authority than he does. You just know that ball is going to go there.
I go back and keep thinking about Garo Yepremian when we were down in the Superdome with them, and he said, when I kick the ball, he said, I'm standing next to Franklin kicking, Franklin makes my ball look lazy. That's an interesting concept. Makes my ball look lazy, and I think it's because of the power that he generates with that foot.
Now for the year, 23 field goals for number one. He's one off of the Eagle record. That was 24 field goals by Tom Dempsey in '73. And the way he's going, I would imagine he's going to at least tie it, if not break it.
You would think so.
2 field goals today of 41 and 22 yards. 33 seconds left until half. 12-7 Philadelphia. Ellender back deep for the Oilers along with Carter Hartwig. And Ellender's going to take it to the 5-yard line. And Ellender weaves his way out to the 28. And with 27 seconds, Houston has the football. Making that stop was Scott Fitzke. We had a man come out and pick up the kicking tee, and I wish we had that on tape. Look at this score now. 17-14, and Washington, well, they just, if you look at the net points, they got to win that ball game.
Well, they do. Preston Pearson, stall back to Preston Pearson with 9 seconds left in the halftime. Looks like it's going to be 17-14 half.
Our score here is 12-7. Pastorini to Campbell. Campbell now over 100 yards. Earl Campbell going even further to the 50, and he's all the way over to the 35-yard line of Philadelphia. Boy, he broke that record in a big way, didn't he? He now has 7 straight 100-yard days, 11 for the season, and he's tied both of those records set by O.J. Simpson.
Unbelievable. You'd think they were going to put it up, go for a pass, yet they don't. And you see, he just froze John Bunting and then picks up some Jeff Goff on a block, finally pushed out of bounds by Reggie Wilkes.
That run, Sonny, could have given him the NFL rushing title, you know what? 37-yard run. He's coming off, and they have flashed on the scoreboard here that he's surpassed 100 yards for the day. In fact, he has 134 on 16 carries. You think they'll bring him in the second half? Pastorini. Broken up and almost intercepted. Charlie Johnson got a hand on the ball, and you could see Jerry Robinson reacting, trying to come back to it. That stops the clock with 12 seconds.
Let's see if we can see who gets a hand up in here. He goes back. He has a receiver hooking right in the middle. Charlie Johnson. Oh, what a good play. When you can't, he didn't have a lot of penetration on the passer, but he made a good play by sticking the hand up and knocking it down.
You know, the players, Sonny, as you know, vote on the Pro Bowl team, and they voted Charlie Johnson on there. I don't think a lot of people knew much about him, but boy, the players did, didn't they?
Yes, they do. He plays that nose guard as well as anybody. It's an unusual technique of playing that. And you have to develop it, and he has done a good job at it.
Pastorini in trouble. Gets it off to Wilson. Wilson to the 40 now. There's only 5 seconds. They're going to have to stop the clock, and they do with 4 seconds. And so Tony Frisch will come in. Ken Clark made the stop. Now Tony Frisch is having an outstanding year. He's hit 19 of 23 field goals. He's hit 21 in the last 25. And 19 field goals that he has kicked ties Roy Gerela's record. So he can set a new Oiler field goal record if he would hit this one. They have all kinds of records here today. You have to have some kind of a record book with us the whole game.
He's 2 for 2, over 50 yards.
He had one of 51 yards here in the Astrodome earlier this year. And Tony, the Austrian, 5'7", 200 pounds. And you see Bum Phillips. There's Earl.
5'7", 200 pounds. Does he like the suds a little bit or what?
Just has a healthy appetite.
Oh, that's it.
Okay, here he goes.
Well, he doesn't kick with his stomach, does he?
This will be a 44-yard field goal attempt. Gifford Nielsen to hold.
He's got the same tailor I had for a uniform.
You have more hair than he does, though. Frisch has it up. And it's good. Tony Frisch. That's our third field goal of this game. And that brings us to the close of this first half of play. And I don't know about you, Sonny, but this has been a very entertaining game, hasn't it?
I think the tempo picked up in the second quarter. And I think we're going to, we may see some other players in the second half because both teams are thinking playoffs now. But we're going to have an exciting second half, too, I think.
Except Philadelphia, I'm sure, is aware that Washington and Dallas could very easily end up in a tie the way that game is going right now. So it's 12-10. Very, very interesting football game here in the Astrodome. We'll be joining the NFL today at halftime.
The new look this year is very trim. The new look is a special collection of newly sized Continental Mark VI automobiles with the mark of the designers. For 1980, the sleek Bill Blass yachting motif. The new chromatic look that's positively Pucci. Dramatic, unmistakable Givenchy. And brilliant new Cartier. The contemporary Continental Mark VI Designers Series, the trim new look for 1980.
This Bud's for the United States Budweiser bobsled team.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, Budweiser's proud to sponsor the AAU bobsled team this winter. Here's to you guys from the king of beers.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Take care of your car at Kmart. Our automotive service centers care.
Your Kmart Automotive Center can be your center for Christmas gifts. Anyone on your list would be pleased with this top-quality 21-piece socket wrench set. 1/4 and 3/8 drive, backed by a full unconditional duration warranty. A great gift for $11.88 at Kmart Automotive Centers across the U.S., where quality car products are Kmart priced.
CBS Sports is the place to be for exciting postseason college football action. Kicking off next Saturday with the Sun Bowl, pitting the Washington Huskies against the Longhorns of Texas. Followed on Christmas Day by the Blue-Gray All-Star Game. Then come with us to Georgia for the Peach Bowl with the Clemson Tigers battling the Bears of Baylor. And on New Year's Day, it's the prestigious Cotton Bowl with the high-ranking Houston Cougars going against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Then it's all-star action with the East-West Shrine Game, followed by the Senior Bowl. You'll say you saw it on CBS Sports.
This is a CBS News special report. Iran, Day 43. From New York, here is Reed Collins.
Good afternoon. Iran's Foreign Minister Ghatbazadeh has apparently ruled out freedom for the American hostages before Christmas. In one of several conflicting interviews, he said they must remain until an international grand jury's been convened. Correspondent Hal Walker has details in Tehran.
The investigation into alleged American crimes against Iran over the past 25 years will begin sometime in the first week of January, according to Iran's foreign minister. In an interview, Foreign Minister Sadat Ghatbazadeh said an international grand jury would be impaneled and that some of the 50 American hostages still held inside the American embassy could be called to testify.
The question of trial is not up yet. We are not talking about the trial. We are talking about the investigation of the grand jury. Some of the hostages certainly will be the witness. As a witness, they can go there, but not as the accused.
Hal Walker, CBS News, Tehran.
Minister Ghadbazadeh also said today the Americans will be allowed Christmas trees and religious services over the coming holidays. President Carter returned to the Capitol from Camp David today. Lem Tucker reports.
Mr. Carter told reporters that he still hoped that the hostages would be freed by Christmas, and the president seemed to find the general tone of Foreign Minister Ghadbazadeh's comments more moderate than in the past.
Well, I think he said that the charge going to Panama was a step in the right direction. I hope that the Iranian government officials are also beginning to see that what they are doing is counterproductive not only for the hostages and for our own bilateral relationships now and in the future, but also it's not good for Iran and that country's relationship with all the other people on earth. And we're not displeased with the interview.
But in the final analysis, reminded the president, it is the actions of Iran which will speak louder than any words. Lem Tucker, CBS News, the White House.
And the subject of the crisis, the Shah of Iran, is settling into indefinite exile on the plush Panamanian island of Contadora. This is Reed Collins, CBS News, New York.
This has been a CBS News special report.
There's our halftime score. The Eagles with a 12-10 lead in this football game. We've had 3 field goals. But I think one of the sidebars to this whole game is the NFL rushing derby. And we've been checking during halftime, Sonny. As you know, O.J. Anderson led by 3 yards over Earl Campbell, headed into the 16th week of the regular season of play. Anderson had only 39 yards today on 14 carries. Campbell already has 134. So I don't see any way that anybody's going to overhaul Earl Campbell today.
I don't think so. I talked to some Philadelphia Eagle people here right at halftime, and they were wondering if Earl Campbell will lay out the second half. I think they would like, they've seen enough of Earl Campbell. 34 yards in the first half?
Well, now the other story is Philadelphia. Now they have to be aware of what's happening in Dallas. Right now it's Washington leading 17-14, but I don't need to tell you that could be tied up. If they end up 5 quarters of play tied, then Philadelphia wins the Eastern Crown.
So many possibilities, and I think it's just like Dick Vermeil said, his team can only play one way. They're just going to go out and play. I think they'll play hard in the second half. Jaworski will play in the second half. They want to win this football game. They've struggled to win 4 his first year, 5 his second, and they're struggling to win 11 right here this year.
That's true. Now, Philadelphia, of course, having to win that game if the other one ends up in a tie. The thing that's very interesting to me is that both these teams have shown really an outstanding running game, but the passing game hasn't really come around yet. We talked about Pastorini early. Jaworski's had some things going for him, but he, again, was throwing the ball with too much velocity.
He was. I thought Pastorini had a bad half. I felt before the game and talking with him that he really wasn't ready to play football. You have to be ready to play every week you go out there, anytime you walk on the football field. He didn't sound like he was ready to play football. He mentioned to me, let's flip a coin for this game, and it doesn't make any difference because Pittsburgh, they could see the scoreboard. I think that had some effect on Houston's play early in the game, the fact that they knew Pittsburgh had blown out the Buffalo team. But I think Philadelphia did get their attention a little bit, and they picked up the intensity somewhat in the second quarter. And we're going to have a good second half. I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. Now, Franklin showing how he can kick the ball, and Tony Frisch says, hey, give me a shot at it. And he did as they ended the first half with a field goal.
A little bad blood between the two,
yeah,
huh?
That's right. And that dates back for him, I guess what? He said that Franklin, once he came out of the college game and couldn't kick with a tee, then it'd be a different story. Is that what it was all about?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, we have quite a game shaping up here. Stay tuned as the NFL Today continues after this word from your local station.
Tonight, Archie Bunker's place falls into some hard times.
$50,000? Oh, we are not covered.
An old friendship is strained tonight.
This is CBS.
And it's halftime at the Astrodome in Houston. 12-10 our score. This game started out with the Eagles scoring first on Ron Jaworski's bootleg from 4 yards out. The point after by Tony Franklin hit the upright, did not make it through. That's how it stood until Tony Franklin came back to boot a 22-yard field goal. And after 1 quarter of play, the Eagles led it 9-0. But then Earl Campbell from 6 yards out scored at the 3:47 mark of the second quarter. The point after made it 9-7. Then Tony Franklin came back to boot yet another field goal. This one from 41 yards out with 33 seconds left to make it 12-7, only to see the Oilers come roaring back and Tony Frisch add a 44-yarder, and that's how it is now, 12-10.
You know, leading 9-0 as Philadelphia did, Gary. I think the big play is that they had the football, and Montgomery's 15th fumble of the year really gave some life to the Houston Oilers, and they took that in. They took advantage of that. They went down and got a touchdown out of that fumble.
Montgomery with 14. The 15th would be for the record, which is a dubious record to come up with. Terry Metcalf holding that.
I didn't mean to give him an extra one.
I was going to say, don't pick on it.
Okay.
But Philadelphia very much aware of the fact that Washington and Dallas have a very good prospect of ending up in a tie. Of course, that would have to go then to overtime, and this game could be over, and they could be waiting in the dressing room, still wondering what's going on.
Well, there's no question that game in Dallas is so important, and we've talked about that because right now with the score 42-6, I think that is final in Chicago over.
And those net points would mean that Washington would not make it as a wild card team. 12-10 here. Let's go now to the NFL Today in New York.
Back live in New York, I'm Brent Musburger with Jane Kennedy and Irv Cross. Simply put, the Washington Redskins, to get into the playoffs, must beat the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, they lead them at the half. The count there is 17-14. Why do they have to win? Because Chicago manhandled St. Louis. 42-6 was the final score there, so they would win a point shootout if the Redskins lose to the Cowboys. The Redskins have played very well, however, in the first half. Now, over in the AFC, the Pittsburgh Steelers may or may not have wrapped up the home field advantage simply because it is now in San Diego's corner. If the Chargers beat Denver tomorrow night, then the Chargers would have the home field edge the rest of the way, regardless of the fact that the Steelers beat out Houston for that advantage as far as the AFC Central is concerned. The Cleveland Browns have bowed out of the playoffs, and let's take you to the scoreboard and get you up to date on everything at this moment. In the third, Oakland needing a win, tied with tough Seattle at 17. It is remarkable the way the Seahawks are playing, even without the injured Steve Largent. The game there at the half, Washington 17 and the Dallas Cowboys, who have been slowly coming back, 14. And, of course, the contest you're watching, 12-10 at the half, Philadelphia over Houston and the great Earl Campbell. In the third quarter, the last assignment for the Rams in the Los Angeles Coliseum, 14-7, unless the Rams would wind up with a home field advantage for the NFC Championship, but that remains a long shot. And here it is, 42-6 as Walter Payton wraps up the NFC Rushing Championship. He carried 33 times for 157 yards and 3 touchdowns. O.J. Anderson injured after carrying 14 times for 39 yards. Tampa Bay, meanwhile, wins the NFC Central. In the rain and the slush, Tampa Bay 3-0 on a second-half field goal, a 19-yarder by O'Donohue. And the Cleveland Browns fall out of it as Cincinnati beats them 16-12. Mike Pruitt, though, did score again for the Browns. What a remarkable year he had after coming out from under the shadow of Greg Pruitt. Pittsburgh 28, Buffalo nothing. Franco Harris 21 carries, 100 yards. A cut, battered, and bleeding Terry Bradshaw returns and does it again for the Steelers. Baltimore wallops the Giants 31-7. The Giants started slowly, came on in midseason, and collapsed again. Landry goes 17-24, 176 yards and a touchdown. Atlanta beats San Francisco 31-21 and say goodbye to the great O.J. Simpson, who retires from football. And another remarkable player also retired. That would be Jim Marshall of the Minnesota Vikings. He played and started in every game that franchise played. Unfortunately, they lost the finale for him today to the New England Patriots. Another great veteran may or may not have closed out his career, depending upon what happens in the second half down in Dallas. It would be the last man to ever suit up for George Halas. Number 55, Doug Buffone, and he made a heck of a play in this game that we're going to show you here in a moment. Now, the pass from Pasarkowitz is picked off by Alan Ellis, who did a heck of a job coming in behind him. Ellis was injured earlier in the year, and he has come on strong, and Chicago could do no wrong. Watch now, the remarkable number 34, Walter Payton, one of his 3 touchdowns on the afternoon. Now, here comes the punt by Parsons, and Lee Wilson fields it deep and comes up behind an alley, and he's got daylight. And that old man, number 55, he can't catch him, can he? And wouldn't you know it, Dougie finally brings him down. But they go on in, Jim Hart takes over, and here he is going to Pat Tilley. Tilley's one of those guys without blazing speed, but he'll get open for you. And then it was Ricky Watts. After the injury to Golden Richards, the Bears said, where can we find a wide receiver? And they came up with this draft choice, and this young man added some spark to that attack for Chicago. And now they are just sitting on pins and needles in the Windy City, praying that America's team can come back and whomp on the Washington Redskins. Won't be easy, though.
You know, it's pretty simple and cut and dried in the Western Division of the National Football Conference because the Rams are sitting here as division champions, but they trailed in the third quarter the New Orleans Saints by a score of 14-7. That's Wendell Tyler carrying the ball at the 2-yard line, going over 1,000 yards. He gets the ball here on the next play, goes in for a touchdown, 7-0 L.A. But Archie Manning gets his club on the move as he rolls to his right and hits Tinker Owens, number 83, in the end zone to not to score. A few plays later, Manning comes back for the draw play to Mike Strawn. He goes in the third quarter, the New Orleans Saints have a commanding 14-7 lead over the Rams.
Earl Campbell's first half stats, 17 carries, 134 yards. His total rushing for the year now, 1697, Payton 1610, Anderson 1605. Let's check in on the Washington-Dallas game. Redskins jumped all over the Cowboys in the early going. Joe Theismann was red hot. Here he is going to Danny Buggs, and this led to the Mark Mosley field goal. It was 3-0. Theismann, a good runner, got in from a yard out. D.D. Lewis got turned around on the play. And then this play, which certainly probed the Cowboy weakness. That injury-riddled secondary. Malone, 55-yard Redskin touchdown. And back they came. Ron Springs for 1. Then, from the shotgun, the man delayed half a count, and then Preston Pearson ran right for the goal and got in there. And now it is 17-14. We send you back to the Houston Astrodome for the second half of the Philadelphia Eagles and the Houston Oilers.
Twelve to 10, that's our halftime score. They're playing the Houston Oilers song here, and as you can see, the pom-poms and the Derrick Dolls, a lot of color and excitement at halftime.
Well, they finally built the Sony big enough for me.
Sony has risen to the challenge of the Mahoney family.
Grandma, what a big Sony you have!
Sony introduces the Big Sony, the 26-inch Trinitron console, the biggest television screen in America. But the big news isn't that it's so big. The big news is that it's a Sony.
Kind of reminds me of my Sony.
Sony, the one and only.
On the night before Christmas, I did last-minute shopping, ran home, got dressed, then went party hopping. I don't think I can face the day.
But fast relief is on the way. Hey, deck the halls with plop, plop, fizz, fizz, fa la 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 la, la la la, ha.
Don't let an upset stomach and headache turn you into a Scrooge. Take Alka-Seltzer, the sound of fast relief.
Oh, what a relief it is. Fa la 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 la, la la la, ha.
They call it the city of brotherly love, but I like to think Philadelphia is a United Way city. How about you, Brooks? What does United Way mean to you?
Learning to swim at the Y.
How about you, Kim?
It means the Girl Scouts, Dad.
I'm John Bunning of the Philadelphia Eagles, and this is my family. You might say that we're a United Way family. We've all been helped by the United Way. But as volunteers, Renee and I have seen what United Way does for so many people, both in the city and in the suburbs. It helps people in distress. It helps the whole community. It helps people of all ages, all walks of life, rich, poor, every race and every creed. Because there are people who care. United Way works here in Philadelphia. It works in your town, too. Thanks to you, it works for all of us. The United Way.
United Way.
The preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. There's Ron Jaworski in the first half, hit 10 of 18 for 133 yards. Longest gain being a 36-yarder. He started out a little shakily, but improved as the game wore on.
And I'm kind of interested in seeing in this second half, Gary, that both coaches said that they were going to not make wholesale changes, but they're going to move some other people into the game in the second half. And with the game as tight as it is, I'm not sure they're going to do that. Are you?
I don't either. The only thing I wonder about is Campbell. He's won the rushing title, no question about it. He has 1,697 yards. Anderson, who led him going into the day, finished the year with 1,605, and there's nobody else close unless Montgomery would just go wild in the second half of play. Ready to go. 12-10, Philadelphia. This is Allender. And Richard Allender brings it out to the 24-yard line. So let's check and see who they're going to come out with. Louis Jamona made the stop. I'll tell you, we get a chance to ask our director, Jim Silman, to shoot the guy who takes the kicking tee off after every kickoff. He is something to watch. His name is Mojo. And he has some moves out there. Did you see that?
Yes, he does.
We'll get it later.
He swoops in on that tee. The 134 yards by Earl Campbell in the first half was a career record for him for halftime.
Boy, what a career he is having and is going to have. Now, as we check, he is not in the backfield now, is he? Here is Carpenter. Rod Carpenter out across the 25 to the 27. And so the question is, will he in fact play in the second half of play? Frank LeMaster making the stop for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles must win today and then hope that Dallas and Washington end up in a deadlock. And right now that game is 17-14 in favor of Washington as they've started their second half of play. The state of Texas has some football going on today, don't they?
All important too.
Yes, they do. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. That's Jeff Groth in motion. This is Carpenter with the football to the 30 to about the 31-yard line, where it's going to bring up a third down and still some 4 yards to go. Well, they earned their keep in the trenches, don't they?
What are they doing? They do a good job here. Watch him coming off. Good block up front. Karl Mock making good block. George Vriener, he's coming back after an injury, the left guard for them. Did a good job with some kind of just wrestling everybody down. There we look at the man. Toughest thing about his whole career is going to be keeping up with a number of records he breaks.
Going to have to put extra pages in the brochure, aren't they, to list them all. It's Carpenter again. Carpenter, and he has a first down across the 35 to the 36. John Shira making the stop. Tell you this, Rob Carpenter's a fine football player. He missed the final 8 games last year because of knee, but he was their third rusher, even at that. And at 77, he gained over 600 yards.
I tell you, just looking at the team that they have on the field now, Carpenter, they have some. They've made some changes in that lineup there.
New Orleans, as I said, if they win that, they would end up at 8-8, first non-losing season in the history of their franchise. Boy, they lost a tough game Monday night. It took them out of that title contention. Here comes Carpenter again. Charlie Johnson wrestles him down, but he picks up big yardage. Carpenter in his 3rd year out of Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, again, we take you down close here. You take a look at, you see the job they're doing up front. Getting a little running room, breaking through. Charlie Johnson making the tackle, but a little bit downfield.
Interesting story here. The bench on the sideline was checking to see if Earl Campbell's 19th touchdown run, where that stood. Well, it tied Jim Taylor. There's some talk that they might send Campbell in and let him score another touchdown and set an NFL record. He has 19 now, tying Taylor. Carpenter, and he doesn't get the first down. Pretty good opposition thrown up that time by Reggie Wilkes and Carl Hairston.
The Philadelphia Eagles don't care how many records he sets, but they're interested in winning this football game.
And there's the guy that's been the architect of this revival.
I'm telling you, he's one of the hardest working human beings you'll ever see. Is he doing doodling there?
He's doing some plays now.
Talked to him before the game. These cowboy boots, says the most comfortable boots or shoes he's ever had in his life. He said out in California they didn't wear cowboy boots. 3rd down and 2. Carpenter in motion. And Booby Clark, no. Ronnie Coleman carrying the football. That's the first we've seen of Coleman, a 6th-year man from Alabama A&M. He really bounced back on this one.
You remember early in the first half you were talking about running wide. This is why, because there's a lot of pressure up that middle. Reggie Wilkes come through. Johnson comes through. No place to run. Coleman's still trying to fight and find some running room. And then Randy Logan comes up, and he comes up short of the first down.
Randy Logan, a big, strong guy, the strong safety. It's a kicking situation. Parsley to boot it. Back deep, Wally Henry for Philadelphia. 10:44 to go. 3rd quarter, 12-10, Philadelphia. Very fine kick, very high. Henry's going to return it. And he's down at the 24-yard line. Parsley really got that ball up high. And that's been a difficult thing for the Oilers this year. They have not covered on the punts all that well, giving up 11 yards a return, but that time they were there. In particular, Steve Baumgartner. 12-10, the Eagles on top.
You know, words are confusing. In bowling, a strike is good. In baseball, it's terrible.
That's right.
Take the word natural as in natural light beer. It means just one thing. This brew is beer with nothing artificial. It has only natural ingredients with lots of barley malt for a fuller taste and a less filling beer.
You better believe it.
Taste Natural Light. The difference is what we put in and don't put in.
Sure, Natural Light tastes great, and you can open the top without disremembering the can.
Jean Marie McTeague, age 6 hours. And along with Jean, you get weeks of sleepless nights, months of dirty diapers, and a lifetime of responsibilities. Nationwide can help you handle those responsibilities with life insurance for you and every member of your family, even the new ones. And knowing you're prepared for Jean is what our blanket protection is all about.
Nationwide is on your side.
Next Saturday, the CBS Sports Spectacular features Super Skates with former Olympians and world champions performing, plus action in the pool. You'll say you saw it on CBS Sports.
48-yard kick by Parsley, a 6-yard return, and at the 24-yard line, the Eagles with a 2-point lead. And their first offensive effort of the second half. Presley split out to the bottom of the screen. I tell you, Carmichael's in there. They have their entire starting 11 in right now. Here comes Montgomery, and Montgomery maybe gets a yard, and that's all. Greg Pingham. Darrell Hunt, by the way, number 50, is in at a linebacking spot for Houston, replacing Art Stringer. But both these teams, even though Campbell's out, they're going with their front liners right now.
Yeah, the only change the Eagles have made is Scott Fitzke's in at the flanker position in place of Charlie Smith. I don't know that if he got banged up or anything in the first half.
Fitzke had a catch last week, giving him 6, and he is at the bottom of the screen. Carmichael at the top. Second down, 9 yards to go. Montgomery, look at him cut, would you? He was in trouble and averted disaster. Gets out close to the 30-yard line. Darrell Hunt, their 6th-round draft pick, rookie out of Oklahoma.
And he was coming on a blitz, and as you said, he was in trouble early, and he got out of it. Billy Campfield coming in for Harris now in the passing situation, and a lot of changes, and this is a big change for Houston when they come with their 4-down linemen, taking out Curly Culp, Ted Washington, coming with Kenny Kennard. They bring in a whole outfit to come in and rush the passing.
Thus far, the Eagles have protected Jaworski very well. That's the second leading sack team in the NFL. On the 3rd down to Campfield, that'll be good for the first down, and Billy Campfield is all the way out to the 44-yard line. Carter Hartwig made the stop.
Boy, a good smart call this time. Real smart call. Campfield is coming out of the backfield. How quickly he sets up, throws the ball to him, picks up an easy first down.
And again, I will tell you how effective this man has been in those spot situations. Campfield earlier this year scored a I've had a lot of fun in the 79 season, and a couple of reasons. The guys that have really been helping us out throughout this year, our producer, Bob Rowe.
Boy, he's done an outstanding job, along with our director, Mr. Silman.
Both those guys, it's been a real joy working with them. Rupert Kopanex from the New Orleans area working with us today. And gentlemen, today has been an interesting game, and you've helped make it that way. You can see, Sonny, there's a lot of people involved in bringing the NFL to you.
Boy, I tell you, the people that do the work behind the scenes, they're the people that make it good.
Well, we have an important play. 3rd down and 2 at the 43 of Houston. 2 minutes left in the game. Eagles don't get it here. Well, will they kick it or go on a 4th down? John Walton has Scott Pitzke in motion. Pitzke's still waiting. Now he gives to Jamona. Jamona has a 1st down, but there's a flag on the play. Louis Jamona really sticking it in there that time to the 40-yard line, but what's the penalty all about?
Boy, if we're going to get a holding call, what a time for a mistake. One time you don't want a penalty.
Oh. Offside against them.
And holding. Oh.
Well, you know they'll take the holding penalty. 10 yards. Huh. Well, I could have been a big play for Philadelphia. Now they got to come back and do it again. There's a final. New Orleans, their first non-losing season. They finished 8-8. The Rams, they'd won 4 in a row.
Boy, that game that they played against San Diego really hurt them, didn't it?
The offense is offsides. That penalty is declined. Number 62 of the offense was holding. That's enforced. Still 1st down.
Look for timeout.
3rd down.
Look for timeout.
There's the final. Seattle, well, Oakland's last-ditch efforts to make the playoffs come to a grinding halt.
Yep. 29-24.
At the 46.5-yard line now, it's 3rd down, 12. And I don't know what you do in this situation.
At 29-24 was the score I was giving you.
Boy, you're awful. You know that. McRae, Fitzke, the wide receivers. You've been around Bob Rowe too much. And now a timeout called by Philadelphia. A little strategy being mapped here on both sides of the field. Walton comes over. 1:54 left. The Oilers have 1 timeout remaining.
They're trying to make a decision here, I think, Gary, about should we put it up? We risk the possibility of an interception. If you throw an incompletion, you stop the clock for them.
Right.
And then you're going to get another stop clock on the change of possession. Or they may be talking about why not run the football here, throw a little screen pass, eat up some time on the clock, and keep the clock running. They would actually like for the Houston to have to use the other timeout.
And again, we'll remind you, 60 minutes. You know, 4 years ago, a giant American chemical company was told by one of its own engineers that it was slowly contaminating water wells adjoining the plant. Did the company do anything about it? Well, you'll find out as you watch 60 Minutes tonight.
Oh, come on, tell me.
I'll never tell. Never tell. There's the timeouts remaining.
Just 1 timeout. They would like for the Oilers to have to use that timeout if they can get them. The Peach Bowl, Clemson versus Baylor, huh?
And we'll also have our producer Bob Rowe and Jim Silman as we invade Atlanta. Go down there. And
they are going, huh?
Yes, they are. We go together as a team. 3rd down, 12 yards to go. They've decided what they're going to do, and let's see what it is. Walton's going to throw it, but he's going to play it very safe. As he didn't see anything developing on that, he tossed it away. Jamona was the closest man to the football, but as you said, that stopped the clock.
Well, it did stop the clock. Robert Brazil had played that perfectly. He had to throw the ball away because that could have been intercepted if he'd have tried to complete it. Just got word on that Dallas game, and Dallas has the ball on its own 45-yard line with 1:18 to play. You see Walton going back right here. and making sure that he throws the ball out of bounds, because you see 52, Robert Brazile was right on the play.
Runinger to kick. The Oilers will have their offense ready to go. And with 1:49, they'll have some time. Ellender at the 12. He's got to get to the 15, and that's all. Good coverage that time by Philadelphia, and in particular Jerry Robinson. He really gets down there in a hurry. 41-yard kick by Runinger. There's the time. You see it. Upper right-hand portion of your screen. A 15-yard line and 1:37 to get down to the other end.
And the one timeout hurt him. Remember the timeout that Gifford Nielsen had to take when he was standing at the line of scrimmage because he had a bad formation. And you see right up in the upper right-hand corner. I think they're gonna remember that one.
Philadelphia, whose goal this year was to win 10 games, trying to go one over that. Nielsen trying to deliver the football on the far side for Jeff Groth. Brings up 2nd and 10. Very well covered that time by the Eagles. You know, it's interesting. About 4 or 5 weeks ago, Vermeil said, we'll have to win 10 games to get into the playoff. He was exactly right. At that time, everybody thought 9 would. Then he said after they won their 10th game, that was their goal. Last year, they won 9. Now they have a chance to win 11. Nielsen back again on 2nd and 10. Wide open is Groth. I don't know what happened. He didn't locate the football. Interesting how wide open Groth was on that play.
He ran a corner pattern, but the ball was delivered before he went back on his break. And when you do that, when you make that type of throw, you're trying to guess at what angle a man is going to come out of his break. And you see he's back. He wants to throw the ball a long way because they need a big play right now. He gets it away, has a lot on the football. If he'd have laid it up just a little bit, Groth may have been able to make a play on it.
Henry Monroe now checks in at a cornerback for Philadelphia. John Sanders coming off. On a 3rd down, catch by Castor, and he has a first down. Castor with a lunging catch for the first down. Henry Monroe ran him out of bounds, and the Oilers are still alive with 1:20 left in this game.
Not only a first down and an excellent catch and throw, but he gets the first down and stops the clock. You take a look. Philadelphia playing very loose this time, protecting against the bomb. Castor comes across underneath the linebackers. You see how deep the linebackers are, about 20 yards deep. Castor gets the first down. As you said, they're still alive. They got 1:20 left.
12-yard pickup on the play. Nielsen delivering again. Merkins. Blackmore defending on that play. They had Sanders in there that time. Blackmore, Herman Edwards. Anybody that can play defensive back, they're going to have him in now.
Again, they're trying to go to that type of pattern. It's a long pattern, but you're throwing it outside. They're throwing it before the break. If he catches it, he stops the clock. He's out of bounds. But they're having trouble connecting on it.
There's the time left. Well, it hasn't been easy for Philadelphia or Houston this year. They've had a lot of close games. Oilers winning 2 of them in overtime as you look at Phillips along with Pastorini. And it's come down to the last game of the year, and they're fighting and scratching. Nielsen to Merkins. He almost had it. That would have been a great catch. Randy Logan defending. Just couldn't quite get up high enough.
I tell you, he had Rich Castor wide open that time. He has Castor wide open. You see him going back. Those are post pattern this time, a little change up from the pattern they threw before. He does take something off of this ball. He lays it up. If it goes over, it's almost intercepted. You see standing right behind it, Edwards standing there waiting for the interception.
3rd down, 10. 1:09 left in the game. Nielsen to Merkins again, intercepted this time. Picked off by Chesley. His 2nd interception of the year. And I like this guy out of Pittsburgh. The rookie who had an interception earlier in Veterans Stadium comes up with one here, and with 59 seconds left, the Eagles have survived. The Oilers attempt to come from behind.
I'll tell you what, that game, and you take a look at this interception, and then I'll tell you what's happening across state. The linebackers deep. Anytime you're throwing against linebackers this deep and you see him jump, tips the ball with one hand, comes down and makes the interception. Great play by Chesley. Dallas has the ball on the Washington's 8-yard line with 45 seconds to play. How close are you winning the division or being eliminated from the playoffs?
That's right.
Your whole season goes down to 45 seconds.
That's right. Philadelphia, of course, winning here. But they had to have a tie in that game in order to win the division. Larry Barnes. Houston has one timeout left. Are they going to use it? Clock still winding down. And now they will use the timeout. Houston has no timeouts remaining. Well, I have to say this about Philadelphia. I've been so impressed with them this year, but I'm also impressed with that team that's wearing the Columbia blue and red. A lot of character on both of these teams.
RCA wants you to see the right color. Sunrise over the Grand Canyon. Does your television capture the color in all its intensity, in all its subtlety? Does it automatically show you the right shades of color? If not, wait till you see ColorTrack 1980. ColorTrack 1980, with 8 automatic color systems designed to lock even subtle shades of color on track. RCA is making television better and better.
Sharp razor blades are designed to give you a closer shave. Great for my beard, but can still be irritating to my skin. So I help protect my skin with Rise. Rise is thicker than the leading foam. Look, I can't even shake it off. Rise helps protect my skin against irritation. So for today's close shaves, get today's thick Rise.
"60 minutes following football as the Houston Oilers have just used their last timeout, and we had an offside against Houston." Let's go now to Brent Musburger in New York.
Gary, thank you very much. Back here in New York, we have had a dramatic turnaround. With less than a minute to go, Roger Staubach has driven the Dallas Cowboys back, and they are tied with the Washington Redskins, waiting now to set up the extra point. This is the pass that established it for the Cowboys. He hit Preston Pearson, then he ran Tony Hill into the corner with 42 seconds, lobbed it up over the head, and the kick is good now down in Dallas. So as a result of these 7 points, the Cowboys lead the Redskins 35-34. What a game. Back now to Gary Bender in Houston.
Thank you, Brent. And so if that stays as it is, Washington will not be in the playoffs. That incredible, Sonny?
Incredible that it comes down to the last 45 seconds. I see the Philadelphia bench right now. They're looking at the clock. They see the tie score. They have the wrong score on the scoreboard. They think they're going into overtime in Dallas, and they would have a chance to win the division.
Somebody ought to alert them down there. That's got to be agony for those players on the sideline, and the coaches. Look at them. They're looking around. Now they put it out. Dallas. Now that's interesting the way they reacted to that, isn't it?
It really is.
Why would they feel that one way or another?
Maybe that's who they want to play in the playoffs.
Well, they will play Chicago. I guess really you understand that now. That is it. And that is it. So the final score, 26-20, Philadelphia picking up their 11th win. They'll be in the wild card against Chicago if that Dallas and Washington game stays the same. This is Gary Bender for Sonny Jurgensen saying so long from the Houston Astrodome.